But I actually have thought about working in the prison system, mainly because I am very good, and I will rarely toot my horn about stuff. I am very good at setting boundaries with people and taking no shit from people. That's the thing in the ER, is you have to be kind and caring, but at the same time, you can't let someone walk all over you because that's just not acceptable. And luckily, I have not gotten in trouble yet.
So working in the ER, the most important quality as a team to work cohesively, what do you think it is?
Communication.
100%. Hands down.
100% communication. It sounds cheesy. You have to be able to look each other in the eye and say, I'm doing this, you do that, make sure everything is getting done. And you gotta help each other out.
Exactly.
When I look over and I see some nurses and they haven't picked up more than 2 patients and I'm running my off with 4 or 5, I'm thinking, come on, man, like that doesn't make me want to help you. I want to help the patient.
I really don't get flustered or overwhelmed too much at work unless I am just sinking. I see people on Overstock.com and I'm like, yo, does anyone see me like dying over here?
Get off your Facebook.
Please come here, help me. All I need you to do is take one thing off my plate and I'll be happy. Like, it's a big frustration, and I think you're absolutely right about the communication in the ER. Establishing those relationships with your coworkers is so huge, because I remember there was a code situation and there was this gal that just, she froze up. And when you freeze up in a code situation, that's one job that's not getting done. That's very, very critical. And so it was one of those things where I had to look her in the eyes and say, listen, I know you're having troubles right now, but a patient's right here. They need your help. You need to kill this anxiety that's going on right now and focus on what you know, because I know you know it. Right after that, she snapped out of it and just went right to work. But sometimes, you never know what's going to affect someone, because it could be a child that comes in that looks like, their cousin or something like that. You never know what can actually really put someone in that area of, anxiety block. And I think that's a really good quality of an ER nurse, is knowing how to, separate your personal life from your work life and the emotions. When I first started nursing, and people are usually surprised to hear this, but I was a very anxious person. I wasn't really, comfortable with, having conversations with the general public. And so I really had to step out of my comfort zone and walk into a patient's room. My first patient I had, I paced outside of his room for an hour before I built it up.
Where was your teacher?
She was going around I was just pacing. I was, leaning on the desk, like pretending I was writing stuff. I was thinking, oh my God, I can't, like who am I to go in there to this 84-year-old guy and like, who do I think I am, But it's getting out of that, realizing that you need to communicate, that you're there to help them. And in the ER, really, really kind of helped me get out of that. You got to act quick, and you got to say, if my girlfriend's fucking like cheating on me or something else is going on in my life, that has nothing to do with what I'm doing here, and you can't let it affect you, because if you do, it's not fair. I mean,
people can die.
Exactly.
Literally. Someone could die because you can't leave your out of the hospital.
Exactly, yes. ER is not just nurses. You've got docs, you've got techs, you've got the transporters, you've got the housekeeping. What could docs do? What could techs do to make your life easier, to make things less frustrating? Because sometimes, you get techs that are just on point and they're like doing everything. You're like, yeah. And then sometimes you're like, I haven't seen my tech in like 3 hours.
Where the have you been?
Exactly, right?
Where have you been?
Who knows? They might have been, doing a splint in the room and it just took them forever.
And that's the communication part. You have to say, hey man, I'm going to be doing this splint. If there are any EKGs, can you grab them? Or, hey, I'm going to be in this room, a nurse standing up and saying, oh yeah, I'll get the straight draw. No problem. Like, I'll do the straight stick, it's fine. A lot of nurses won't do straight sticks. And you're, are you kidding me?
And they'll let it sit for a half an hour, an hour.
Yeah, in some hospitals they don't have techs. From doctors, the communication between nurse and doctor is so important. Because honestly, like, no one wants to admit it, but if you have a doc that does not respect you and makes you feel like without even thinking about it, you might be walking to that room a little bit slower. Or you don't want to go out of your way to help the doc. And you have to be able to learn from them. If you have a good doc that is a good teacher, when they ask, okay, if we have this patient in, what do you think I should put in, or what can I do quicker that's going to help you and give you the tools to do your job faster?
The only way you get clear roles is when you have clear communication to assign roles, you know what I mean? What we're doing is no joke. It's not something you can mess around with as far as like, oh, I didn't hear what you said. Like, you gotta speak louder next time, dude.
Speak loud and have the person that you're talking to repeat it back to you.
Exactly.
Before I got to the ER, I didn't really take that seriously. This is cheesy. And then the next minute, you're in this code and you're thinking, okay, yeah, let's establish roles here and there. I just wasn't putting it into practice.
I try and practice that as much as I can remember to, is to read back orders. And sometimes I get like this response that's like, you're making me repeat myself. And I'm like, yeah, I'm making you repeat yourself. It's like, do you want me to just not know? Be unsure and insecure with what I'm about to do to your patient? Like,
excuse me while I kill your patient.
Attitudes like that could definitely be adjusted. Best quality of an ER nurse
adaptability and communication. You have to be able to juggle multiple things, multitask like a boss.
There's a technical side to that, but there's an also, I feel like there's an emotional side to that too, because you may have a patient that's in one room next door that you were coding and just, passed away. And then you walk into your next room, you got a little kid with a tummy ache, right? And so you can't bring on whatever happened in that room into that next room. It's not fair to that patient. When you're focused on that patient, you're focused on that patient, but you still know what's going on in other places.
Yeah.
It's in your head, but you can't put it on them. The most challenging part about being an ER nurse is what?
When I first started was critical care because I didn't have the experience in it.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is learning how to turn it off when you go home. That's been the hardest thing because when we're in the ER, we fix things. We're in charge of everything, right? And then I go home and I'm very much fix when someone just wants to be listened to. That's the hard thing. And also is I have to know that outside of work, I'm not going to be in control all the time.
Yeah.
Not that we are totally in control of what happens in the ER, but we are in control of how we respond. And so that has been the biggest thing for me is separating those two. I have to be able to wind down after work before I get home.
Gotcha.
I put on a podcast, I listen to other people's problems, and then I bitch to my dogs, give them a cookie, and then I'm good. There are times when my partner says to me, I see that you're trying to fix things, I just need you to listen to me. That's definitely been the hardest for me. You have to be able to check it because otherwise it's going to really start impacting your relationships at home. And it takes a while to get a handle on that, especially when you just have those days where you regret becoming a nurse, you don't want to go back the next day.
Every time I have a day where I'm like, I don't want to go back tomorrow, the next day was always like prime. Like I like rock the house.
There are times when you just got to shut it off. You got to stop thinking about it because otherwise it's going to impact your work and someone else's life.